Welcome to St. Paul's on this Palm Sunday. It is really different to gather here in this small space in the back. I'm very thankful for seeing so many of you here despite the weather. I can't imagine that they would have had this kind of weather as Jesus was welcomed entering Jerusalem, because I can't imagine them having a Palm Sunday parade in that kind of rainy, cold weather. But at any rate, we are still going to celebrate the fact that Jesus is always with us and that He is our Prince of Peace. Please join us for coffee and conversation following the service this morning, and then continue the preparation for Easter with our worship services on Monday, Thursday, and Good Friday this week, both at 7 o'clock in the evening. I invite you to be seated. And as was practiced in some churches in the old days, usually after the sermon, to take some time for reflection. In preparation for my sermon, I need some time, and I invite you to just meditate on what we just heard. Well, did you just see that today? Well, I can't describe what it was like. That parade, this mass gathering downtown, I've never seen so many people in one place, and so excited, and all peaceful. Well, maybe you weren't there, but perhaps, you must have seen it on TV, right? You know what I mean? This energy that was just surrounding something really big happening. But you would have had to be there to sense this magnitude of joy that all those people felt together and expressed with each other. Were you there that morning when Jesus arrived? No? I was, and I'm just Paul Hill from St. Borough, I live out in the country. I'm just your average kind of Paul, and yet I was on my way to the big city this morning to run some errands and get ready for the big holiday coming up. I thought I could beat the crowds. Was I ever wrong? I thought I'd just quickly get what we needed at home, and then I'd be back and do more chores. Well, I was, going down the road, and as I was getting into the city, I just noticed several police cars, and I thought, wonder what happened there. And then I see, oh wow, there's a big van with TV equipment on there. What are they doing? Is that some kind of crime scene or whatnot? I thought I better get going. And then I turn a corner, and whoa, all those people there. I'm like, oh, how am I going to get through that? I still need to get to the store. And then I'm starting to kind of, get bogged down, and people around me, I'm asking them, so what's going on here? Why are you all here? And they're mentioning something about Jesus. I'm like, Jesus, yeah, I heard of this new visionary teacher kind of person there. But, never would think I'd come across that kind of person in my little town. And so we're like, okay, so what's supposed to happen here? What about him? I heard some people say that he did some great, cool things. I don't know, believing in healings or people floating through the air or whatever they were talking about. I don't know. Others were saying or tweeting about a new kind of world or something that he was supposedly bringing, or that God was going to take over control or something like that. people talk about that stuff all the time anyways. I wonder what it would be like. Maybe nice to have some change for a while, No worries, no chaos anymore. That would be good, I guess. But so I'm just trying to get through there, and we're bumping into each other, and then whether I wanted to or not, I guess there were so many people around, and it seemed like getting more and more. I had to follow wherever they were going, and I figured, well, eventually this is going to end, and I'm going to get to where I'm going. But so it was hard to hear or see, like way up ahead, but we were just all pushing towards something, and then all of a sudden, I'm thinking, my clergy had said that he's not a fan of any kind of like these itinerant visionary TV preachers or whatever, and he said there's all kinds of messengers all the time, but someone representing God and saying maybe like they are God, I wouldn't believe that either, but my clergy person seemed to think that's what this Jesus was claiming. So, well, I guess more or less it was hard not to get excited though, with all these people, and you just could feel it. And people started singing, chanting praise songs. I'd heard some of them on the radio. So I kind of started to feel like in a really good mood too. It was like going to a great game or something like that. And then people, all of a sudden, in the front, were starting to shout. I mean, you knew that something was happening. And I figured, well, I guess it must be this Jesus. They probably saw him. Good for them. And they were like, welcome, Jesus! I praise you! Glory to the Lord! Or whatever. And so people started to raise their cell phones and wave them in the air. And I was like, okay, this is kind of exciting. So let's find out what's going to happen. And maybe I'll get to see this Jesus guy that everybody's been talking about. And wouldn't you know, it was pretty far up ahead. But I did see him go by. And I could tell. It was like, I was sort of like expecting a limousine or at least like a parade float. And it was like, in this day and age, a donkey. I thought, oh wow, this is different, kind of cool. This is not what everybody expects. And so it was kind of simple, and yet it seemed really special. No gimmicky effects, just like a simple statement. And I was like, oh, okay. He went by, everybody was really excited, and I'm not a very spiritual person. I just attend church. That parade, that was quite something. I'd never been part of that kind of a spiritual experience, I guess you could say. But those followers that went with Jesus, they were announcing something like, blessed be the King from God, peace on earth and heaven here. It's like, it just made me think all day long. What was it about? I mean, it got me sort of excited, and those people clearly who were following this Jesus, they must have really believed in whatever he's teaching, that God could send us someone new to change things the way they are. I was like, people started to disperse. Some of them chased after Jesus, and I never got my groceries. I figured I better get home. I'll go shopping another day, maybe at the corner store or whatnot. But Jesus, save us. God bless our King, or whatever they were shouting. It just kept going around my mind. And of course, I saw some of the interviews that they did on TV then later today. And I was like, there were of course those that were all excited. And then there were those, like my own clergy person at church, who were all like, can't believe in this sort of thing. He's just a human. And, you should have heard did you hear the government officials? Oh my gosh, they were like off the charts. And they were like, we can't have something like this. It's going to cause civil unrest and whatnot. And I can see that point, but it's like one person, Jesus, common name like, Paul. So I was like, okay, I don't think it's like a threat, an imposter and all that needs to be stopped. Let people believe, and get some hope. So I'm at home and I'm doing my chores and I'm thinking about this and watching some evening news. We had dinner and I got together with my friends down at the inn. Just have a talk and all that. That place was packed. Oh my gosh, and they had the TVs on, so we kept rewatching everything. And that's what probably you saw too, close-up view of that parade. I just saw this short Jesus going by on a donkey thing, but I bet you got some nice close-up views. I don't know what it was like to you. To me, he looked like just some ordinary kind of person. Not anybody I would pick out in the crowd. But then all my friends were talking about, what does this mean? Can you really believe in him? Is he really going to do something special? And I'm just sitting there thinking what it was like to be part of this crowd. And so, of course, eventually somebody said, hey, Paul, why are you so quiet? And so I told them. I said, I guess I happened to be there. I was in town. And then, of course, everybody wanted to know what I thought. And I told them honestly. I said, listen, I'd heard of this Jesus. You probably did all before this. And now everybody's making a big deal of it because of this big parade today. Yeah, it was exciting and all. And I said, I don't know. Wouldn't be anything that would convince me. But I tell you what, I said. I just can't help. When I heard everybody saying, blessed be God and Jesus, our Savior, that kind of thing, I've been thinking about that all day long. And I can't help. I can't explain to you why. But something's telling me that if God were going to do something, why not? Why wouldn't this Jesus maybe be able to go on and change the world? Why not today? I mean, it could be any day. So this seemed really special to me today. And if this one person can get so many people excited, there must be something to that. I could feel it. I'm a skeptical person, but I tell you what, I would bet on this Jesus. Why not? And I'm going to just check and see what he's going to do next. This week, it's the holiday week. This would be the perfect time to do it. So I tell you, I said to my friends, you better watch this guy. Let's just wait and see. And I'll be there when he does it. So, my friends didn't seem very convinced. I hope that you're not thinking I'm crazy, but I may be just an ordinary nobody. But I was there when Jesus arrived. And that experience, it has changed me. And somehow I know. I just believe that this Jesus can change everything. So I confess to you today that I believe that Jesus, he's the King. If you don't believe me, you could believe his followers. They did. And if you don't believe in the followers of Jesus, believe in God's possibility to save you and me. That we all can believe. So, hey, praises to the heavens. Bless God, our King. And welcome Jesus. We certainly need you. Bring this government of heaven to us. Give us, finally, peace on earth. Thanks, Jesus. Come.